And in the southeast position as the red Protoss, we have Hasu. I think sorry, I noticed my chair was empty. I had to let go. Mini emergency over here.
Oh, okay, I know how it
is. We are in now, I think.
Well, Ohana's an interesting map.
Game 3.
I like it for Hack here, actually. There's a lot of opportunities to harass theprong aggression. I would like it even more if HasuObs was one of these Protosses that took a quick third and had to defend attacks on all three fronts. As there's quite a bit of surface area here, especially with drops for Hack to try to abuse. It's going to be a little simpler for HasuObs to defend here and try to get to his mid-game if he's just defending his natural and his expansion, which is probably how it's going to play out. The thing that seems to be the story of this matchup is we know how HasuObs is going to play, but how is Hack going to open up?
Yeah, and, is he going to go for something more aggressive? Is he going to go for a longer game? Will he try something similar to what he did last game, where he, went for the aggression and ultimately had a huge attack to follow up with that? I think in response to what HasuObs did in game number 1, that ended up being quite good. If you look at, he threw away that bio army in game number 1 just because he let HasuObs get to that point. So as you mentioned, though, the drop play on Ohana for the Terran can be pretty difficult if the Protoss builds properly, puts all those, we see pylons north of the main where Hasu is to really be like an early defense system for those drops. So are we going to see a gas go down? No gas has gone down yet for Hack. So he might actually go for a fast expand this time.
Yeah, he's got his expansion scouting out. He wants to get into that Protoss main, I would imagine. He's just going to stop off at the Alga Watchtower to see what's doing there. Actually, a little bit late on morphing that orbital, but we'll see what happens afterwards. Now dropping the second depot. Still no gas as he puts that first Marine out. Now sending his SCV to go scouting into the main base of Hasu. And Hasu, I mean, Captain Standard, man. He's got his cybernetic score coming down. He hasn't even left his main base. He doesn't care what's going out in that big world.
Nope. And that's just the game that he plays. But the first zealot's going to come out, chase around that SCV, and I'm there. Actually, the gas goes down just a little bit later. Looks like we are going to have the CC right after that. But Hack, I'm not quite sure exactly what his plan is going to be, but he decides that he is definitely going to get that refinery down. So that just means this CC came a little bit later, but he must have some sort of plan going into this. You also see that HasuObs has just gone down to two probes inside the gas. Mm-hmm. That just allows them to get that Nexus down a little bit quicker. And both guys about even this time. Hack throwing down that bunker, and like I mentioned, just actually having something behind it. And here we go.
Right.
We do see a tech lab going down immediately onto that racks thanks to that gas. So Hack will kind of take it from here. See where he goes.
And here's the thing, Wheat. If Hack was playing anyone but HasuObs, he would walk up with his probe, see this bunker, or it looks like he's actually going to walk up with the Zealot and be confused. Oh, not actually going to get taken out, so he's going to see the expansion. So had that not happened, and he's actually going to get fully into the main base. Wow. Bit of a mistake there as the depot wall doesn't go up for Hack. So going to run around, get a full scout in the main base, going to see that mule drop. Going to try to take out an SCV. Oh my god, what a hero. He actually gets that SCV. And now he's driving the lane, finally going to get taken out. But as I was saying, if it was anyone else trying to infer information, what's behind that bunker? Is he going 3 racks? Is he expanding? Is he proxying me? But I don't think Hasu even cares. He's not the player that plays reactionary to what his opponent does. He says, this is my build order. It works against everything, and I'm just going to execute it properly.
I'm going for it. And it's exactly what he did. I mean, I can't believe that the Zealot actually got up there.
Seriously.
In a situation, we see it before. We see a lot of Protoss these days actually getting very, it's like, oh, hey, you got a bunker. Cool. I'll walk past it with my Stalker. I'll walk past it with my Zealot. But then to actually miss the depot raise as well to get inside, that is just a field day for HasuObs. So he's just diligently using the units that he has out to take the towers that he needs, to scout around the base, make sure there's not anything proxy going on. But the 3 gateways are down, and that means that we'll see the Robo come up next, and they're the robotics facility. Should be falling here any moment. And we do have it down now inside the main of HasuObs. And there's just no doubt about it. I'm sure we're going to see that robotics bay coming down next, and he'll just go into what he's comfortable with.
As you mentioned, I like how active HasuObs is being with his units. There's absolutely nothing going on in the game, so he wants to be absolutely sure that he's aware of what's happening. That's why he sent that Zealot, because he wants to be aware of what the follow-up is. Once Terran gets kind of this wall set up at their natural and you can't do run-bys anymore, you're a long ways away from getting observers when you can actually figure out what's going on. So by running by and getting that information, he'll be able to know exactly what at least the starting build was for Hack. Meanwhile, he's going to run all these units around, make sure there's no secret third base, make sure there's no proxies, make sure there's no very early medevacs flying out. So why not? If you have the multitask to do it, you should be active with your units. And here comes Hack. He doesn't like doing that. He doesn't like sitting in his base. He's going to go attack.
Yeah, this attack's going to be pretty sweet because it's going to be a stim timing attack with +1 if he allows himself that much time to get across. I mean, actually, there's about 60 in-game, just under 50 in-game seconds about to finish that +1. If he can get, get that reasonable army, and he is going to have at least one more production cycle come out here before that +1 finishes, he's going to have a nice little attack on his hands. And there's not a whole lot of units out here, but the important thing is Hasu has the sentry. There's another warp in, some sentry or a sentry and 2 zealots, and it's going to be all about these force fields. Hack is going to have to be very, very quick about this one. He's just going to slip around to the back and maybe go through the rocks. Then he has a little bit of choice on how he wants to do this, and his +1 will be done. There it finishes.
I'd be very surprised if he commits to this attack. He's probably going to scout the third, take out the rocks, and then run home. It would be very scary to run up that ramp without knowing exactly what's up there. He's got largely Marines. They could be cut off by the force fields easily. Zealots going in to slice him down. But, Hack's a crazy guy. Let's see what he's doing, especially because he's got the factory with the starport behind it. That means he's got kind of a future plan set up, and we can see he's spreading his army. Just wants to control the ramp, make HasuObs a little bit uncomfortable, maybe make him bring out a few more units than he's typically comfortable in doing. And I think it's been successful as HasuObs taking out a second Immortal. We haven't seen him do that in the past. He usually gets straight into the Colossi. So, mission complete. You've delayed the build a little bit, but now he's getting Hack style crazy.
Okay, wow, he runs directly into the front. The force fields in the back actually miss completely, but is this damage enough for Hack? Hack gets torn apart at the front, and he actually could have done a ton more damage. However, he did do major damage to the sentry count of HasuObs, actually focusing down every single one. You'll see that not a single sentry now exists here for Hasu. So if that was the plan there for Hack, then mission accomplished. That actually worked out great. And that was a lot of gas that just went down the tube. Of course, the first Colossus out, 2 additional sentries are going to be coming out here. And this observer sees that third going down, but Hack, I feel like that really kind of put him ahead here. And this is, will we just see some sort of a 2-base? Let's just go for it here from Hasu as Forge is just finished up, but it looks like he is pushing forward to possibly apply some pressure to that third.
Yeah, that's surprising. He's getting extended thermal lance. This isn't really Hasu's style, but we've got 2 medevacs coming out of the starport for Hack, so he's not going to have the Vikings out to deal with the quick Colossi. And this is kind of an old school build, getting 2 Colossi out with extended thermal lance, going out and harassing, but a battle going on by the watchtower. Hasu going to control the left side, Hack going to roll around to the right side. Looks like they may re-engage, but I'm not sure this is a battle Hack wants as he's trying to establish that third. But he's going to stem forward and try to get in. Force field's going down. They're all right. Largely whiffing, and that's going to drive Hack back. Hasu's setting up his third base. He's got his probe just about to drop a Nexus there, but Hack already has his third established. Command center finished.
I mean, there we go. Okay, I'm like, why doesn't Hack just load up and go? His army seems to be in a precarious situation, but look at this. The medevac's about ready to fly into the entire army. There might not even be enough DPS to take that out, so he's going to be able to get away with it, but both times he's been stuffed. I think that instead of actually feigning an attack there at the front, here come the stalkers. He should have probably loaded up right away and just gone for it. His opponent was out of the base. It may have prompted a response to just go ahead and attack, but he could have done damage, and he's still trying to go in, but man, it has already been delayed, and here comes a big push here at the third. It's going to have to be lifted. Man, Hack.
Yeah, Hack's a crazy man, continuing to attack as his third force to get lifted. He doesn't have that many units. He's got a few Vikings to deal with the Colossus. He's putting up a second bunker, going to float back to his natural, but somehow the drop is actually successfully making it into the main. Hasu made a few stalkers trying to deal with that, and I guess he thought he drove the medevacs back, but he was unsuccessful. One piling going to take out immediately. The second one, that's piling largely everything. Fortunately, the Robo isn't going to get unpowered. Stalkers are now back, but they may not have enough firepower to deal with this if Hack's able to group up and actually get a good angle. Unfortunately, the Gateway's creating some sort of a funnel, and the Marines just going to offer themselves up so the rest of the army can largely get out. So we've kind of reset here. A little bit of damage being done to Hasu, the third being lifted for Hack. Hack's got to get out there as he salvages his bunker. He's got to get out to the third, drive away the Zealot, drive away the army, and establish his third base, or else he's going to fall behind as we approach the mid game.
Yeah. I mean, the robotics facility going down was actually quite big, and I think that Hack saving his units and not really just throwing that drop to the to the hands of his opponent was a very, very smart move. It interrupts the Colossus production for so long, and that is going to allow him to catch up there with the Viking production. And with that third base going up, but some more damage has to happen here from Hack, I feel like. I mean, how long can Hasu be down without Colossus production? Not that long. But Hack, I feel like he has to make a move here while he's going to be in this stage where Hasu is to rebuild, especially since Hasu's third base is looking mighty fine right now.
Well, it kind of depends what Hack wants to do here. He's set up nicely because he's eliminated the Colossus, and that's a really only mid-game area of effect damage ability that Hasu has. Now he's reached the Twilight Council, so he's getting that charge up. He's getting 2-2 working. No Psystorm on the way yet. Or excuse me, it is just started, but it's a ways away. So if Hack attacks, and it looks like he's charging down the center of the map again, he may be able to find another timing here in game number 3.
I think absolutely he will. I mean, right now the hardest thing for Hasu is going to be how he's going to engage if Hack does decide to actually go in and attack that third. I mean, there are so many Vikings here, and the Stalker count is pretty low in the grand scheme of things. Since we're not going to have a finished storm yet, those Vikings, they're just going to go right in and immediately target down the Colossus. One goes down, number 2 about ready to finish, and with +2 finished here for Hack, he is just doing a ton of damage. There we see the Vikings clean it up, and all that's left there are a few Gateway units, the Immortal, and that was a very successful attack here for Hack. This third base is going to go down, and Hasu's going to have to say GG, and game 3